I just finished 8 hours of being an Instacart shopper. Was it worth it? Welcome back to the Mile Pointers channel. I share ideas with you on how we can side hustle together to earn extra credit card miles, points, and maybe even earn a little bit of extra cash on the side. I'm Steve. I'm just your average guy that doesn't really have any set of special skills, and so my 2022 goal is to make an extra $50,000 and an extra 1 million credit card miles and points, all through side hustles. If you haven't checked it out already, check out my first video on my goal, why I'm doing it, and how I plan to get there. In today's episode, I make good on my promise to sign up for grocery delivery and go on a couple of runs. This is all through the grocery delivery app Instacart. I'm going to be going over an overview of Instacart, the sign up and the in-app experience, the good, the bad, and the ugly of my shopping experience, the results, and finally, was it worth it at the end? And if you stayed until the very end, I'm going to offer my best tips on how to be the best Instacart shopper you can be. So most of you already know what it is, but Instacart is a grocery delivery service that's really taken off in the past 5 years and really rocket shipped during the pandemic. You can order in the app from different local stores, ranging from groceries to office supplies to really anything. And Instacart will pay shoppers to go in stores on behalf of yourself, do the shopping, and then deliver it right to your door that same day. The company was founded in 2012, and it's roughly valued at around $39 billion after about $200 million in funding last year. There's over 5,000 employees, and they're headquartered in San Francisco. They partner with local stores like Safeway, Costco, ShopRite, Wegmans, Whole Foods, and a whole bunch of others, so you know they have that reach and that network. The business model has really proved itself in the past 2 years. As an Instacart shopper, you can either be a contractor or a part-time employee who can work flexible hours shopping on behalf of Instacart for these customers. These shoppers go in-store, use the app to find the items, check out and deliver these items, all based on a base pay plus the tip that the customer pays. You can either be a full service shopper where you're using your car, you're going in store, you're doing the shopping and you're doing the delivering as a full service, or you can be an in-store shopper where you stick with one or two select stores and you go in there, you stay in one location and just pack the goods. That one you don't earn any tip, so we'll focus on the full service because it seems like there's the most opportunity to earn as much as possible. The sign up and app experience. So you really download the Instacart shopper app on the App Store or on Google Play. You go through a really simple sign up flow. You put your name, email, zip code, phone number, and upload your driver's license. And of course, make sure you're over 18, can lift over 40 pounds, and you have a car that can make these deliveries. If you're thinking about signing up, use my referral link down below in the description. You'll get $600 if you can complete 30 orders in 30 days. Also, Instacart does a background check, verifies your email, and allows you to order a physical payment card to do the shopping. Now keep in mind, if you don't have that yet, you can still use Apple Pay or Google Pay, and you won't have the money come out of your own pocket. Once you open up the app as an approved shopper, you can go online and start looking at different batches. Batches are really just potential orders from customers that you can take and start shopping. You'll see these available orders or batches in your area. You select one to see the potential earnings. It'll be split out based on base pay plus an estimated tip, the driving distance between the store and the drop-off location, and any new orders. So if you really want that one, you can slide right to accept it. In the app, you can also check your past orders, your payment history, and your customer ratings. And then once you select the batch, you'll see roughly where you need to drive after checking out to see if that's where you really want to go. Once you've selected a batch, you navigate to the store using your car. The map is linked to Google Maps, so it's pretty easy to follow. And then once you arrive, you click Start Shopping to see all the items, and it's really organized by aisle pretty well to make it easier for you to find things. Once you find your item, you scan the barcode and it'll show as complete. If you can't find the item, you can scan a substitute for the buyer or message them and take a photo of potential alternatives. They'll choose something and then you can complete that particular item. Once you get to checkout, you can pay either through Apple Pay, through the virtual card, or swipe a physical card. You then drive to the destination and check their preferences if they want to leave it at the door or you want to hand it off in person. And once you finish the batch, you'll get these instant results in your funds, in your wallet. Tips don't finalize until about 24 hours later, and you can go offline when you're done. Other things to consider are that you can actually get multiple orders in one batch if they're from the same store, and it requires you to then drop off to multiple destinations. Funds also don't get released until the end of the week, so you'll just have to wait for that. But there is an option for an instant payout after 24 hours, excluding the tip because tips do take about 24 hours to finalize. So the good of the experience. In general, the app is pretty easy to use for navigating, shopping, checking out. At least on the iPhone, it's pretty clear and transparent on how much you'll potentially earn from a particular trip. Navigation is plain and simple, and you have the ability to go online whenever you want. This is really great for people who are doing this for side hustle income. The initial promotions are pretty decent. The one I got targeted for was you'll earn at minimum of $80 after 5 batches. That's before tip, and I've had great reviews so far. I've only done 5 batches, but none of my tips changed, and I hit that promo of $80. The bad of the experience. Driving distance doesn't really show you how far you need to drive to get to the store in the first place, so that can be kind of annoying. It doesn't also track the distance on how long it takes to get home. Like, how do you deduct this mileage for taxes if you're deducting it for your LLC? Number 2, there's no ETA targets for these delivery times. It only shows once you've finished checking out that you have a certain amount of time to get there, but by then maybe your shopping trip has taken way too long and you're over that time period anyway. The meat, produce, and bakery and dairy sections are really poorly organized in the app. It just tells you that they're in there. The shelving numbers are not intuitive at all. And there's no rhyme or reason on how batches are organized in the app, so that when you look at them to select, the first one that is available to you can be actually really far away, while the 5th one that's available to you may be the most optimal one. It requires the least amount of driving distance and has really low number of items and pays really well. The ugly. Messaging customers for substitutes is a huge pain. You can't really proceed with checking out until you've got them to approve or review something. And a lot of times these customers aren't even checking their phone that often. They're not responding to you very quickly. And that can make a trip last 3 times as long. Produce is a nightmare. Weighing the items when there's no scale. Depending on the store, the organic versus the non-organic items are all over the place. It's not really easy to tell what they are. I'd really just rather not deal with produce if I can help it. And bad inventory management between Instacart and the local grocery store. There was one item where it told me to pick up some breakfast combos and talk to a store assistant. It didn't actually give me a shelf, so it was really confusing. I went up to the counter, they took about 10 minutes to check the stock, and they told me they hadn't sold that item in 45 days. So I just wasted all this time. The results. I made $147.56 across the 3 days that I worked, over 8 hours and 5 different batches. That was broken down to $80 in the batch pay, which includes that promotion. They topped me off a little bit, and the $67.56 in tips. My Instacart shopping time for active hours was 6 hours and 45 minutes for an average batch time of around 1 hour and 21 minutes each. That means my earnings were $21.87 per hour. Actually, after each trip, I decided to come home, which took around an extra 15 minutes each time. So in total, I spent about 8 hours working for Instacart, which brings down my hourly rate to $18.44. Then once you factor in some of the other expenses like gas, which in my area is around $3.20 for a gallon, I drove around 74 miles across these 5 orders. That's roughly 4.1 gallons, which costed me about $13.15 spent on gas. So ultimately, my hourly wage went down to $16.80. So the real question is, was it worth all that time? I would say yes. At around $17 an hour, it could be worth it if you're extremely familiar with your grocery stores and can shop really quickly. It's really great for those who have free time on their hands and can just pop in their AirPods and listen to music or listen to a podcast while they're shopping. And then working around 10 hours a week as a side hustle would give me roughly $170 or almost $700 in a month. multiply that with another 11 months, and I'll earn about $7,500, or about 15% of the way towards my $50,000 goal. A couple of tips for next time: don't go shopping when it's right before a big snowstorm. I did that twice. Everything was sold out, and I spent almost 2 hours just messaging these customers looking for substitutes. Don't do one and done trips like I did every single time and just go home afterwards. Do it for 3 to 5 hours at a time to maximize your travel time so that you're not going home and having to come back out again. You'll fit more batches in that time frame that way. And finally, the last tip is to be courteous to all the customers that you're dealing with. Having those 5-star reviews is going to be super important for you getting chosen for good batches that pay well. What I do is I'll always introduce myself when on the app. I'll let them know when I'm driving to the store, when I start shopping, and I'll communicate very clearly what kinds of substitutes there are, if there are any. And then when I'm about to check out, I'll let them know I am checking out and give them an ETA on when I'll get to their house. Every single time, it's yielded really good feedback, and I think I'm gonna continue doing that. So what did you think about my Instacart shopping experience? Would you do it as a side hustle? Would you do it for a couple hours a week? Were my earnings even worth it? Comment below if you have any ideas on how to make other side income, or if Instacart shopping, grocery delivery has worked well for you. I'll be back with more updates on grocery delivery, food delivery, as well as my manufactured spend in other videos. I'm Steve, and you're watching the Mile Pointers channel. If I can do it, you can do it too. I'll see you next time.